as a home favorite, with the average score staying under by more than 10 points per game. The Nets, 7-1 to the under their last 8 games overall, staying under by an average of close to 15 points a game. So Joe's angle today says take the Kings and the Nets under the total tonight, 233 in that range right now.
Baseball it's a labor of love. I think we can both say that. We both enjoy the sport tremendously.
It's a roller coaster of love.
It is. But the one thing is there's a lot. It's so statistical. There's a ton of work that goes into it. One way you can help yourself, and I personally, I think this is really important for any handicapper, is have access, if it's not your own, to a really good model that breaks a lot of these numbers down for you. And for me, Clear Data Sports has been my go-to for a few years now. Mark Borchardt joins us. Always good to talk baseball with you, Mark, and I assume you guys are raring to go with the season kicking off tonight.
Dave, yeah, you couldn't have said it any better. How much work is involved in this? I mean, just revamping like stuff that I've already built that's taken me thousands of hours. It was 100 hours to build the simulator, to revamp the simulator. 2,430 games have been simulated by our software. So I'm really pumped up with some of the results that we got. I mean, it's pretty amazing how the whole MLB landscape, to me at least, by looking at the numbers, is changing.
Well, let's talk about a couple of teams specifically in this conversation. Maybe you can add a couple as well. And this is the most interesting team to me because there is widely varying opinion on what the Chicago Cubs are going to look like this season. Look, they won a bunch of games last year, and the pro Cubs guys are going to argue, hey, Chris Bryant, he wasn't healthy all season. He's back and ready to go, and they're going to be better than they were a year ago. And yet, a lot of the metric analysts out there do not think this is going to be a good season for the Cubs. Talk about why, and which way are you on this?
Well, we're going to go with the Cubs under, and the main culprits, and I'll talk about Chris Bryant. He's like number 3 or 4 in the base winner ratings from a hitting standpoint. So we expect him to have a good season. But the culprits, it starts with their number 1 pitcher, and this guy, John Lester. We have 7% worse from a run suppression allowed standpoint. And this guy got so lucky last year. I remember betting against him with the Dodgers a couple times, and Dodgers just smashing balls like right at outfielders. And I just don't think that he has that much control over line drives going into outfielders' gloves. But we have him 7% worse than average. We're not really that high on Jose Quintana. We have him 1% worse. Hamels and Darvish we like a little bit, 12% better than average. And then, the bottom of their bullpen is very poor. And offensively, they're actually the 3rd worst offense in that division. Wow. And collectively, we have Cincinnati and Milwaukee rated ahead of them.
Well, when it comes to the Reds, it seems like staying in the NL Central, since he's a team that has there's a good handful of wise guys I've talked to that really like this Cincinnati Reds team. A team that, unlike the Cubs, has been sellers at the deadline in every recent year. And, boy, I'm trying to think about the last time Cincinnati had a betting bandwagon. It feels like the Great Red Machine. It's been a while. What's your take on the 2019 Cincinnati Reds?
Well, we like Cincinnati over the posted total. We have them projected to win 85 games, and you can get it at 79 right now. And really the main reason, if you look at their starting pitching, and it's not awesome, but it's 10th in our ratings overall. And then offensively, it's pretty surprising. If you look at their men, we have 6 of their 9 guys rated above average. So the first 6, we have Winker, Votto, Suarez, Jeanette, Puig, and Shebler, all above average. And then Peraza and Tucker Barnhart really close to average. So they are collectively the 6th best offensive team, which you wouldn't expect. And this was kind of surprising to me. They're the 6th best offensive team by our ratings. They've got the 10th best starting pitching staff. They are small and rolling the bullpen, so they do have Iglesias and Hernandez, and those guys are sub-100 guys for base winner. Anyway, you shake out the math, and we have them about six games over the win total. We actually have them, which is really interesting. 34% chance to win the division, and you can get them at like plus 13.20. So you might want to throw a couple bucks on that bet.
And you didn't even mention the rookie Senzel, who's going to be a hitter right away at the major league level. And he's probably going to take a lot of playing time away from, I don't know, from somebody. I guess they're going to put him in center field, I guess. So I guess Schebler might lose some playing time. Yeah. It's you have to rely on DeSclafani, Castillo, guys like that to improve. But if they hit their ceilings, they could be a really good team.
Yeah, they again, the only downside on the Reds is their bullpen. But I mean, offensively, if you just look top to bottom, and I'm not even including the guy they're going to bring up and take Schebler's place. I mean, they're pretty deep, and so that was a real surprise to me when I looked at the Reds. And as I was doing the ratings, the offensive, I said, well, maybe it's going to shake out that they're going to go over the total, and that's the one that's kind of the surprise. The rest of our totals, I mean, we have I think 6 other overs and 4. We have 5 other overs and 4 unders, and it wasn't really that surprising. But the Reds were really kind of the surprise team to us.
Are there any other teams you want to discuss? I know we don't like the Cubs and we do like the Reds. Is there a third team?
Yeah,
you
I want to talk a little bit about this Cleveland team because it's a super interesting. There was a rumor yesterday about Cleveland trading Kluber to the Padres, and I wouldn't be surprised. And it's just for the record, we have Cleveland over the win total of 90.5. So that really caught my attention. It's like, well, gosh, if they lose Kluber, they're going to lose. If you just do it by WAR, they're going to lose like 5 wins. And then I thought about that. Well, that's kind of ridiculous. Why would they trade Kluber? And the more I thought of it, we have them 11 games better than the Twins. So even if they lose Kluber and they sacrifice 5 wins above replacement, well, I don't think they're going to sacrifice 5 wins above replacement. The guy that they're going to bring up, Tristan McKenzie, he's better than average. So let's say it's 3 wins. They're still winning the division by 7 games, giving away either Kluber or Bauer. Now, the guy over at Cleveland, he's a data science guy, the head of data science. He's an MIT, Stanford alum, a double master. The guy's really smart analytically. He used to write for Baseball Prospectus, Keith Woolner, and he wrote the best Baseball Prospectus books for years. I wouldn't be surprised if they let one of those guys go. But even saying that, I still think that they're going to win the division and have a good chance to go over that win total.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I mean, Minnesota's the only other team in that division that's got a chance. Detroit's miles behind Kansas City is, and the White Sox might actually be getting worse. How is that possible?
I agree with you on that, Dave. I think the White Sox are horrible. What are they thinking? And there's people upbeat when
they don't know what they're doing.
Their broadcast. I'm like, you guys, really?
They have no. Look, we see it in every sport. You can't tell me, if you're a football fan, you can't tell me that you think the New York Giants have any idea of what they're doing in football. That GM is completely overmatched. I think that's the way it is with the White Sox. I think the organization, they've got a few good prospects, but they can't do anything right. And you look at that team, they stink. I mean, they are really bad. They could be as bad as Baltimore, and that's really saying something.
Saying a lot.
Yeah, they got the worst starting pitching, really close to the bottom in team hitting. And that's pretty hard to do because we rank it league-wide, so they're in the American League and they're 28th. So, yeah, I mean, and the other teams aren't very good either, Detroit and Kansas City. So I wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't surprise me if Cleveland unloads one of their guns and still wins the division. And then it's anybody's game. They got 3 good starters. It's really not out of line for them to trade one of those guys. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
I think Bauer's, now that he's really figured things out, I think Bauer's their best starter anyway. I think he
looks
I think
great,
he passes
Dave. I agree
Kluber.
with you.
With the age thing, I think he passes Kluber this year anyway.
Yeah, no, I would totally agree with you. The numbers support that idea as well, Dave.
So MLB in their brilliance has scheduled opening day for 2:30 a.m. Pacific time on the Wednesday before March Madness. We have a game tonight between the Mariners and the A's, a game that counts in the standings. What's your take? Give me 2 cents. Quick look ahead.
This is a horrible idea. It feels like a spring training game. We have it priced in Oakland -111, which is right, I think, where the line is. So I would say don't wake up, don't stay up late, go to sleep, get some rest.
That sounds like a really good idea.
The market's actually quite a bit higher than that right now.
Go to 25.
I'm seeing -130s in a lot plays.
Yeah.
What did it open up at? I thought it started at -115, but we have it at -111 for Oakland.
Superbook USA opened A's -122.
Yeah, okay.
That's really not in the value area as far as your models go. Anyway, explain a little bit about You can do it better than I can.
Sure, no problem.
I use it every day.
So we assign a percentage to, for instance, minus 111 is 53%. So, the magic number is 4%. So if the game was priced up at, say, I don't know, if we had, let's say we had it at 58% and it's priced at 53%, then it would trigger a play.
Okay.
So it's basically comparing money lines to percentages, and then if the 4% is kind of the magic number.
See, the thing I like, because I want to make my own selections, but what I want is not just a model that gives me a price, but I want breakdowns of each specific area. So you've got the starting pitching. You've got a rating for each starting pitcher. The bullpen, the defense. You've got all those things, and it's really easy. Some of these models that are out there, I can't figure out what the hell they're trying to say because they're just the navigation is bizarre.
Too many data points to put in.
Yeah, yours is so well organized. An idiot like myself, and I am when it comes to computer. I'm not saying that as self-deprecating. When it comes to anything technological, I'm kind of an idiot. I'm an old guy, and yours is so easy to navigate and figure out exactly what's there. I don't know why everybody doesn't have this model. So tell everybody how to get it.
Well, you just go to Clear Data Sports, and you can. It's pretty easy to figure out, and it's pretty affordable too. Dave, I really appreciate that. That's kind of the goal because we have thousands of data points in this model, and so the presentation is very important. Mm-hmm. So I'm really glad that you enjoy that, and that makes me feel good. I mean, this is a labor for me. I have thousands of hours into this model, so thanks, Dave. I appreciate that.
Well, it's no BS. I mean, I can look at this and I can actually figure out exactly what it's telling me,
and that matters.
And boy, does it ever matter, because you're talking about somebody who still hasn't mastered cut and paste. So, I mean, it's pretty important for me. Give that address again and give your Twitter handle as well.
Sure. Clear Data Sports, and you could do at Clear Data Sports on Twitter or at Base Winner. We have multiple handles. Base Winner's my personal handle.
There you go. And the over and under win props are now up. They were posted yesterday, so you can get those if you're a subscriber and make some money. There's a couple of really good, strong ones. You might have gotten a clue on them if you listened to the spot just now, but better to have them in front of you. Thanks as always, Mark. Good to catch up with you, man, and we'll do it again soon.
My pleasure, Dave. And there's more on the site, so you guys can get more if you go to the site.
Oh, absolutely. Plus EPL, plus NCAA basketball, NFL. I mean, it's a full-service deal. So check it out, Clear Data Sports. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
We will take a break. We'll come back. We are saving the attractive matchup in the NCAA tournament, Temple in Belmont. That's the marquee matchup next.
The Las Vegas Sportsline.
Dave Koken with John Lyons from Lyons Physical Therapy. So what are the most common injuries you see in your practice?
The primary injuries that we see are general neck and back pain. That's 100% the most frequent injuries we'll see. That can be anything from wear and tear, age-related injuries. We see a lot of work-related injuries where patients lift, bend, or twist the wrong way. These are also associated with car accidents. I would say secondarily, shoulder and knee injuries, anything sports-related or just everyday activities. Those would be the four main injuries that we see.
LionsPTLV.com, 702-476-0222.
What's hot today? It's time for the Wager Talk Marquee Matchup of the Night. WagerTalk.com. Start winning now.
Play-in round in the NCAA tournament, technically the first round, and a real good one tonight. Belmont and Temple is a fun basketball game. I think Fran Dunphy really needed to get the Owls to the tournament this year. There's been some heat on Fran, but he got him there. And Belmont looked like they might be a snub, but the committee did a good job and put them in the tournament, and I think they deserved their bid. And we've got a good matchup out of this. It might be one of those matchups where, it's tough to pick the winner, not a great betting game as far as I can see, but definitely one I want to watch.
Yeah, and there's injury information worth noting right here with the freshman center, Muzinski, for Belmont, who's, I mean, on the defensive end, he's all they have.
Yes, this is not a brilliant defensive team.
Well, he's and he's the only thing that's, I mean, Temple has two guards that will drive to the hole every single play, and if Muzinski doesn't play, in my mind, it's a huge impact injury.
What's the latest?
So the latest is the money is coming on Temple.
Well, but we don't know if he's going to play. We don't
have an official word yet. Some of these sharper books just took a little bit of Owls money, and the threes are Now down to 2.5s in that spot.
See, this is where things are different now than they used to be, because I don't see why there's any rush to bet the game right away.